What is crack-a-lacking world? You are in tune to the Know-It-All podcast with your usual suspects. Big G, what's popping, man? How you doing, man?
Man, technical difficulties and bipolar weather is the day of the life and the day of Big G. It's 74 degrees today, and I just watched the weather and they said it's going to snow sometime by in the morning. What is
Wow.
really going on?
Wow. What's up, Tate, man? We got Tate in the house. How you doing, bro?
What's up, Mod, man? You know, I missed last week. I'm glad I can be back to give the know-it-all some true legitimacy. Some of the takes y'all was giving last week, man.
Hey, man,
Man,
look
hey,
here. First of all,
y'all shouldn't be allowed to talk NBA if I ain't in the house.
wow. Okay, so
That's
Football, y'all know. NBA, y'all question me.
that sounds like some cavalier bias to me, man. But keep it rolling, keep it moving, man.
Hey, man, definitely, if you like the content that you're hearing, make sure you like and subscribe. You can like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Twitch. Definitely, we got some good things happening that's going to be live on Twitch. We're going to talk about that too a little bit today with the NCAA March Madness coming. We got a little surprise for you guys that we're going to work up. But definitely before we get into sports talk, man, we're going to get into this. And what's up, world, man? Definitely, we have been just these last 4 days have been in a blur. We've been watching NFL Combine and really watching it and going over it. Man, you know it alls have been taking it in. You should see our group chats. Our group chats have been real thick, and the exchanges here, man. Definitely, when I started looking at this year's combine, I was looking from a different view. There were some things that I wanted to see in this year's combine because there were not like these mega stars. There's only like two mega stars that I really see in this draft class coming that I think and one of them actually just kind of like went through the roof. To me, his stock went through the roof. But definitely I want to talk the combine, and I want to get on here and I got some discussions. I got some questions. I do want to prepare you guys right off the rip. Big G has got some burners. I mean, he's got some burners coming. But the first subject I want to talk about.
We'll see, because I think that Tate is going to ride with me, and I think our audience will too. I think it's just Mob with his bias. But go on ahead.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, definitely we're gonna start this out with who helped themselves the most in this combine. And I'll start this off. I think Sauce Gardner really solidified his draft status by running the 4.4 and the 40. Definitely his drills look crisp. He looks smooth in his hips. I think he solidified his draft status for me and really helped his case to go in the top 5 in the draft. Tate, who would be your first? And we're gonna run about like 3 of these a piece. Who would be your first guy that you think actually helped himself in the combine?
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and steal Big G's off the rip because as I watched each day of the combine, the offense on Thursday, Friday, and defense Saturday, Sunday, the biggest standout. He was already a first round pick, but Jordan Davis, man, the defensive lineman from Georgia, 6'6", almost 6'7", 340 pounds, 4.8 40. I mean, he's just a monster. He proved he has the speed and agility to kind of rush the passer. They was worried that we knew he was going to stuff the run, but the fact that he showed that speed and that agility in the drills, show he has some pass rushing upside, he made a lot of bread.
Bro, imagine that man coming after you, man. Imagine that man running after you. That's just woo.
Yeah. 6'6", 3/8, 341 in shape, regular playing weight, 360. Legit 4.78 40-yard dash with a 10-3 standing vertical, a stand 3 broad jump, and a 34-inch vertical jump, man. And a 1.61 in the 10-yard shuttle. Come on, man.
That's as fast as some linebackers and DBs. That's really fast. That's really fast. So, Big G, who is one of your ones that you feel like really helped themselves in this combine?
Made a whole lot of money?
Yeah. Who helped themselves?
Travion Walker, defensive end, University of Georgia. First guy would have been Jordan Davis. Second guy, Travion Walker. His measurables was off the hook. He was almost 280 pounds. 278 pounds, legit 6'5", ran a legit 4.54 40-yard dash. I mean, come on, man. And you put on the tape, his ability to drop in coverage, like they showed some of the tape at the combine, but I sat down and watched some tape on this kid. I mean, there's a reason why the Georgia Bulldogs won the national championship, because they had 7 first-round draft picks on their starting defense. They had 7 guys that's legit going to go in the first round. And that Travion Walker kid, I think he was going low 20s, maybe. And I think he jumped himself in the top 15 easily. He made a whole lot of money, man. Whole lot of money, real quick, fast, and hurry.
I agree with you. The other guy, and we're going to go, 3 apiece. Other guy I think made some bread for himself is K. Burks from Arkansas. The receiver went 4.4, 4.5. Definitely looked really, really good, really fluid, can catch the ball, can track it when it's in the air. Hey, man, I like the dude. I've always thought that he was a solid wide receiver because I had to sit and watch him, take Texas apart, and then he took Alabama apart. And I'm like, man, hey, he made the speed that you would like to see for a wide receiver. It wasn't there in the actual running of the 40, but I'm gonna tell you something. It translates into football speed. The youngster can play football. He can definitely play football. Tell you who you had as another person that helped himself.
I'm just taking the low hanging fruit, man. So I'm gonna go with quarterback from Cincinnati Bearcats, Desmond Ridder.
Absolutely.
I mean, he ran a 4.5 40. He measured out at 6'3.5", 215 pounds. Could still stand up on a little bit of weight, but he got the speed. He did well in the passing drills. I heard that he interviewed well with all the teams that interviewed him. So I mean, I think going into this thing, he was probably late second, early third. I think he moved himself up to late first, early second now.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I like that. I like that pick. I think, the thing that everybody was talking about with Desmond Ridder was leadership. They were saying that this guy is a leader, natural born leader. Everyone around him gravitated to him. And then the fact that he went and ran a 4.5 40, that was unbelievable. Man. Definitely, I can agree with that. Well, who you got? Who you got, Big G? Who was the next one of yours?
Well, this is a hard one, man. But I really like the kid, and I was telling Tate off in our chat that this kid is going to be hard to pass up in the first round. The Moet linebacker, University of Minnesota, 6'3", 261, 4.57 40-yard dash. By the way, he wears number 34 for Minnesota for all y'all that don't know who this kid is. And if you put on the tape of this kid and him playing, when I'm telling you he gets after the quarterback, he gets after the quarterback. And the thing I loved about him is him playing in the middle of the field. You saw him going against Jeremy Rucker, the tight end from Ohio State, who's going to be one of those top tight ends. You saw him go against the top tight end against Indiana. You saw him play against Michigan State and Michigan. And you didn't see this kid take a flinch. He was dropping into coverage. He was covering up that slot receiver in that tight end position. So, man, I love that linebacker, man. 6'3", 261, middle linebacker, 4.57. Put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game. Gotta win. Gotta win with him.
I like it. I like it a lot, man. To me, my last one is who B Dirt. B Dirt would agree with me. I kind of held B Dirt out until this one. My next one.
This was the second one, right?
No, this is my third one. This is my third one.
You went first.
No.
First one was Sauce Gardner. The next one was Kavion Burks, and then the next one is going to be this guy, and it's Malik Willis. Malik Willis, I think, helped himself. He kind of jumped Kenny Pickett, but I still see Kenny Pickett going first. I don't see Malik Willis going until we get to the Pittsburgh pick. Definitely at 20.
I hope.
Yeah, he ain't getting past. I'm telling you right now, he ain't getting past the Washington Redskins at 11. But keep it moving.
So I mean, you got to think about that, G. I mean, Washington right now seems like they want to bet the farm. Washington seems like they want to bet the farm to get a veteran quarterback. Man, they're not trying to go with somebody during the draft. They're trying to get a veteran quarterback, a veteran QB, right? So Carolina Panthers is the only one that's looking for a quarterback in the draft, and they look like they're sold on Kenny Pickett, right? So I think if Pittsburgh does have to move up, they're only going to have to jump up a couple of spots to get Willis. And I think Willis is going to be that guy. B-Dirt, I totally 110% agree with you. Malik helped himself, and he looked really, really good doing it. Well, what you think, Tate? Who was your last one?
Man, well, first I hope Malik Willis can make it to us, man. I mean, because that's the pick I want if he's there at 20. I don't want to give all kind of draft capital and trade up, to get him. But so I want to take the best player available at 20, but I hope he's there. Now, my because what you said was who did themselves a benefit, who made some money, right? So
yeah.
My first pick was Jordan Davis. Even though we knew he was the first round pick, he impressed. Therefore, when you impress, you turn more heads, you get higher draft stock, you make more bread.
Yeah.
Second pick, same thing with Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
Now my third pick is a little bit more of a sleeper because he didn't play in a Power 5 school, Power 5 conference. I'm gonna go with and Big G. I talked about this guy like 3 weeks ago.
Right.
Christian Watson.
Oh yeah.
Wide receiver, North Dakota State.
Yeah.
6'4.5", 210 pounds, ran a 4.28 40. This guy, I mean, as far as testing goes, he showed out, man. He used to be probably Trey Lance. He was Trey Lance's best receiver, at North Dakota State last year when Trey Lance was there, the years he was there.
Yeah.
And this guy, he probably was. Remember 3 weeks ago, the Big G, we said we hope we could get him in the third or fourth round.
Yeah.
I think he definitely played himself up to late first, early second.
Yeah. Second round for sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, and we're gonna get into this, man, because Big G got some hot takes, man. There's not over 5 or 6 wide receivers that's gonna go in the first round.
Wrong answer. Wrong answer. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Wrong answer.
G, go ahead, man. Who played themselves up? Who do you think helped themselves in the draft?
Chris Olave, wide receiver, Ohio State. Chris Olave was probably going to go between 25 and 32. Chris Olave has just worked himself into the top 15 draft pick. Chris Olave ran a 4.26 in the 40-yard dash, ladies and gentlemen. Third fastest time in combine history, 4.26. And don't get me talking about the game tape. When you put on the game tape of Chris Olave, he's out there killing people. So now the question was he really that fast? Because people wonder. They knew how the Buckeye receivers was, but they wondered about his speed and Garrett Wilson's speed. Chris Olave ran a 4.26. So Chris Olave is going to be a 1 or a 1A, top 15 NFL receiver, first round draft pick. Bet the bank.
Top
you
15 NFL receiver.
Top 15.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you right now, the Raiders are not passing on speed. The Raiders ain't passing on speed. There's certain teams that want speed.
B-Dirt, man. Willis looked more fluid than I expected in passing drills. Everyone knew his athletic ability and fastball was on point already. Did you see the deep ball that he threw? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He was chunking the ball 60 yards, 60 plus.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's got a cannon for an arm. He's got a cannon for an arm. And I really think that, you know, I'm not gonna say that he is 100% in NFL ready, but I think he's pretty much there. He's as ready as my guy was for the Patriots. He's definitely as ready as he was, and definitely I think as ready as the guy was for the Jets. So I mean, he's put him in the game.
I don't know about the Patriots. Mac Jones played in a lot of big time games, man.
This kid was recruited by Auburn, and he left Auburn on his choice and bet on himself.
Well, he left. I mean, I like Malik Willis, but he left Auburn because he lost out the job to Patrick Nix.
Correct.
He lost out the job to Patrick Nix, and
correct.
And he went to Liberty, and Patrick Nix had a couple decent seasons at Auburn. He's since transferred to Oregon.
Correct.
He'll be Oregon next year.
Correct.
So, but I want to say, just make sure we putting out everything good. I'm gonna read this little quote because you're right, Big G. Chris Olave did run a 4.26.
Yeah.
Initially, Olave clocked at 4.26, which would have been the fastest time of any Ohio State player in history of the NFL Combine. But hours later, Olave's time was updated to an official 4.39.
Oh.
So that 4.26 was taken back. He did run a 4.26.
Yeah, no, he did.
Right.
The wide receiver times, and that was something I was going to get in that. The wide receiver times were edited down. The running back times, up. The running back times were edited down, which is crazy to me. The running backs got a faster time while the wide receivers got a slower time. I don't know what that was. I can't tell you what that was, but a lot of people's times were edited. And definitely, they ran good times on the field, but it got edited actually up on the wide receivers and down on the running backs.
I got caught up in the same thing, Big G, because I saw that 4.26. That was Thursday night.
Yeah. And
I was telling somebody asked who ran the fastest time, and the kid from Baylor ran like a 4.22 or something like that.
4.21, yeah.
And I said Chris Olave ran the second fastest time at 4.26. Then I went to look to see the top 5, and I saw they had changed that. Yeah. Chris Olave's time.
Politics, because at Pro Day, he probably gonna run that time.
You're probably right.
It's politics, man. It's politics. But that gets into my theory of what's going to happen in the NFL, though. So let's keep it moving.
Oh, here you go. I'll tell y'all, folks. Big G has got burners today. He has been setting on the burners for today. He got several of them. You don't want to change the channel because he's about to hit you with them. Now, look, we're gonna get into this, man. I want to say, this is real, right? I mean, I feel like your man Icky from NC State, he helped himself a lot. Aiden Hutchinson helped himself. Charles Cross is another one that helped himself a lot in this year's NFL Combine. The offensive line is very deep in this year's draft, and so is the defensive line. The defensive line is very deep as well. And back to the wide receiver class. Now, here's Big G's first burner of the day. Big G feels like that there's going to be at least 7 wide receivers drafted.
Wrong. See, let me tell my story, man. He's trying to tell my story. What I said was right now there's 6 going in the first round, and it depends on what happens with Jameson Williams. If Jameson Williams is healthy enough, he will be the 7th wide receiver drafted in this year's first round. That's what I said. I said there's 6 guys legitimately right now that work themselves in the first round.
Drake London.
It's Garrett 5 Wilson, right now, but okay.
Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave.
Dotson and Bell.
Traylon Burke.
Yep, Dotson and Bell.
But that's not who most people have.
And I don't got David Bell going in the first round.
No, David Bell's not going in the first round.
The kid from Memphis is going in the first round too.
He's 5'6". No, he's not. No, he's not going in the first round.
Okay.
He probably won't go to the 3rd, Sean. I don't get it. Your fascination with speed. He won't go. He probably won't go to the third round.
Tay, this is what I'm trying to school Ahmad on about this know-it-all thing, man. Which I don't think he pays no attention at all. I know for a fact that me and Tate have been watching the draft for years.
First of all, wait,
hold on. Let me finish.
Bucky Brooks. Pull up Bucky Brooks' draft.
Let me finish. Bucky
Brooks
is not 100% accurate, by the way. But me and Tate have been watching. the draft for years. We go back and forth.
I feel like I could pick better than Bucky Brooks.
Correct.
Pull up Bucky Brooks. I would have pulled up Daniel Jeremiah myself.
That's the number one guy.
So pull up Daniel Jeremiah. So Bucky Brooks. Those are the two. Now hold it. Off camera.
Every year.
What I'm looking at, Bucky Brooks even has 5 wide receivers going. So and those 5 wide receivers are. You just named one of them. You named about 3 of them.
I named 6.
Garrett Wilson.
I named 6.
Garrett Wilson, the kid from USC. Jahan Dotson. The other kid, Chris Olave. And there's Jameis Williamson.
And the kid from Arkansas. The kid from Arkansas, 6.
Now, Kevion Burks, I really believe he worked himself in, but the only other person that I could see picking a wide receiver would be Kansas City. And Kansas City is the only person that I could see picking a wide receiver. And then we're all betting on Jameis being able to be healthy by the time the draft comes around. That's what we're betting on.
So this is what I'm trying to get at, know-it-alls. And Ma won't let me finish my thought. The issue is, and what I've been saying, if you go back and look traditionally, and like I'm going to use Ma's quote, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. Every draft from the 2006 draft to this year's 2022, there's always been 1 to 2 position runs in the draft in the first round. It happens every single year. Last year, you saw a run at quarterbacks in those top picks, and then guess what happened? They turned around and there was a run on defensive linemen with those last 17 picks. Every year, because what happens is teams set their draft boards. They have players ranked. And if they feel that they can come up in position and get a guy that they really like, they will. That's why traditionally you see from picks 25 to 32, they're traded. Teams at that point might not have the value of a player picked that high, so they move down, and you have teams that have a value of a player and they move up. So that's why I'm saying that every year you have position runs every year.
Right there, G. Right there. They have ranked players, right? Mm-hmm. That they feel like, okay, if this player is available, we're going to grab him. The wide receivers are deep, but they're not top heavy.
I understand that, but there's going to be a run.
Players, it's because they were top heavy.
There's going to be a run.
We don't have a top heavy place in nowhere in this draft.
So this was the other thing I told Mod off camera, Tate, that I said that at least 6 of the wide receivers, at least 6, are 1 or 1A. And I said at least 7 of them are day one starters. They're either 1 or 1A on a team. So you got, what I mean by 1 and 1A, you got Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham. Cooper's 1, Odell Beckham's 1A. You have 6 guys that are at least 1 or 1A, at least 6.
But
7 of them are day one starters.
It's X and Y receiver in the NFL. It's X
no, it's not. It's 3 receivers. It's three receiver sets. It's a copycat league. It's been going on forever.
11 personnel are probably the most used set. That's the 3 receiver set.
Correct.
You want my opinion though?
Go ahead.
I think Daniel Jeremiah's pre-combine mock draft had 5 receivers going.
Pre-combine
being the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some guys have played themselves up. Don't mean they played themselves up in the first round. Just like I said, I don't mean Christian Watson going in the first round. I think the fact that the wide receiver position is so talented, you can pass on the first round wide receiver and still get first round talent in the second
round. Absolutely.
Yeah. But what I also said is that there's a run at position every year. This year's early run on position is defensive linemen. You're going to see defensive linemen drafted based on what we just saw in the combine. You might see 6 defensive linemen go in the first 10 picks. There's the early run is defensive lineman, be it a defensive tackle, defensive end. And then after that, the next run is wide receiver. You're gonna see a run at defensive line,
I
and
mean,
you're gonna see a run at wide receiver.
You can't leave out the O line.
That's what I'm saying.
There's four legit top 10 offensive linemen. But I would say 6 in the first round.
Tate, bring up the draft. Let's talk about it, because we got to do this. At number 1, Jacksonville is taking an offensive lineman. Period.
They're going to take Neal. They're going to take Neal.
Daniel Jeremiah says Evan Neal.
Okay. They're going to take Neal.
At number 2, we got Detroit, right?
Detroit.
Okay. Detroit is looking at your guy from Michigan. If they don't take your guy from Michigan, they're subject to take another defensive lineman, which could be.
Pick number 2, Daniel Jeremiah has Aiden Hutchinson going to Detroit.
Aiden Hutchinson. So if they don't take Aiden Hutchinson, it could be your boy from Georgia. I think he played himself up enough to where he could go. Yeah, I can see him going number 2.
Because the mentality and the style of play that Coach Campbell in Detroit wants to play, he's building from the trenches. If you watch Detroit, they lost a lot of games, but they was physical. They was in every game. They was running the ball.
So you're saying Jordan Davis at 2? Jordan Davis?
That's what my opinion, and that could happen because he's going to either take Hutchinson, O-lineman, or Jordan, somebody like that. It's going to be somebody in the trenches.
Correct.
Right. And it's
and they need a receiver.
Yeah, but they're not going to take one there.
Not at 2.
Not at 2. So you look at who's third.
He has Kyle Hamilton, the safety from Notre Dame.
But who's the team? Who's the team? Let's go with the team.
The Texans.
The
Texans going trench. They're going
defense. They could easily end up going. But they're going defense.
There's 2 in your top 3.
Houston? New York Jets.
They're going trench. They're going
Jets
defensive
are going
line.
offensive linemen to protect their investment.
No
Sean,
way.
Why wouldn't they? Okay, I don't get it.
Because
you think the Jets will be receiver at 4?
No. This is what I said. I said the run is going to happen on defensive linemen first. And then after it goes defensive lineman, it's going to go wide receiver. And I said 6 out of the top 10 picks are going to be defensive linemen. 6 out of the top 10. Be it if it's defensive tackle
I'm not
or
arguing
defensive
that.
end.
I'm not arguing that. I'm saying to you that when I'm going team by team and I can show you who's going to take a wide receiver and who's not.
So even more so, let me explain this. There's for the first time in NFL draft history, you have 4 teams that have 2 picks in the first round or more. The Eagles have 3. The Detroit Lions got 2, Jets got 2, Giants got 2, Eagles got 3, right? So if you go back in history and look at history, it's only happened 17 times that a team had more than 2 picks or 2 picks in the first round. 17 times. In the modern history from 1990 to now, it's only happened 7 times. Right. Out of those 7 times happening, get ready for this. Only 3 times have they picked an offensive and defensive player. They always go 2 defensive players.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, the depth
and the strength of this year's draft, the number 1 position is defensive line. So if I'm the New York Jets, do you think that I could not possibly get a Jordan Davis and the kid from Michigan to shore up my defensive line for 10 years? If I'm the New York Giants, do you think I could not get both of those kids out of Georgia and shore up my defensive line for 10 years? Come on, man.
But you got quarterbacks you need to protect. And if you look at the Jets, in that pick, it only makes sense that you get an offensive tackle or offensive guard to protect your investment.
The Jets actually have 3 good offensive linemen right now on their current starting 5. They got 2 guys that are marginal.
They drafted Mekhi Becton last year.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. So who does Daniel Jeremiah got the Jets going with that pick? I know who Bucky Brooks got going at that pick.
The offensive lineman from NC State.
Yeah, and that's who Bucky Brooks got. I think Bucky Brooks has the offensive lineman for NC State going there as well. And their second pick, they have them going with Garrett Wilson, and I could easily see that happening. This one,
Daniel Jeremiah has been going with Sauce Gardner at 10.
See, Sauce is a good pick.
Sauce will be gone. Sauce is gone.
Yeah,
at 10, he's out of there.
So after the Jets, the Giants, right? It's the Giants at number 5, right? So the Giants is definitely going to go offensive lineman or defensive lineman, one of the two.
They're going
to
D
go
line.
offensive lineman or defensive lineman, easy. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. And that fifth pick.
Well, we got speed up. So the point is not a receiver to the Giants.
Right.
Not a receiver to the Carolina Panthers.
Correct.
No, Carolina's going to get a quarterback. Watch.
This guy will get an all lineman. The next pick, New York Giants are second pick, pick 7.
Defensive
Daniel Meyer has them taking Drake London, the first wide receiver off the board.
Wow.
Okay. But Bucky Brooks has, just switch over to Bucky Brooks. He's right there on that same tab. If you look, Bucky Brooks is on that same tab. I think Bucky has somebody different. I think he has them taking Sauce Gardner right there.
Yeah, but the issue is, like I said, every year in the draft, there's position runs.
Mm-hmm.
This year's draft will be the first run position will be defensive line. After that, you're going to see a run on wide receivers. I'm telling you, you can take it to the bank.
No more than 5. No. I'll put it like this: no more than 6 of them are going to go, and that just depends on James.
That's what I said from the beginning.
I think 5. You get 5, and that's it.
Bucky Brooks has David Ojabo to the Giants.
Yeah,
great pick.
Hey, but I think Big G. I think the wide receiver going to be the third most drafted first round pick. It's going to be D-line, O-line, wide receiver.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And to the end, to my point is when you start thinking about the wide receiver picks, it's so deep that late in the second round, third round, you're still going to be getting quality wide receivers. You know, and teams know that.
So once again, the last thing I'm going to say about it is that when you set your depth chart, right, when you have a guy who has a first-round grade and you go from picks 25 to 32, if that guy's there and you have a second-round pick, you're moving up to get him. And that's why I think that the big shift for wide receivers, you're going to see a bunch of those guys come off between 25 and 32. There's going to be guys where teams are sitting early in the second round, mid-second round, and they're looking at their board, and they're like, this kid's there at 25. We had him going 14 or 15. Man, we're trading up to get the kid. And you see that happen every single year. Guys go up to get players from 25 to 32. Okay, so that's why.
So in my hold on. B-Dirt said, I have David Ojabo. I hope David Ojabo falls to the Bengals in the second round, but Roy Dresser running 4.55 will probably come off the board. Yeah, he's going to come up the board real early. But so let me ask you this, G. After that first 5, is there anybody, and take to you too, is there anybody that you see somebody coming up to get? After that first 5 originally comes off the board, do you think that anybody is going to trade up to get these? Is there a receiver after that's worthy to be traded up for?
Who's the first 5? I just need to know who you were saying your first 5 is. Garrett Wilson, Olave, Dotson, Burke, and who's your other one? And who's your other one?
The USC wide receiver,
Drake London.
Okay,
London. I put Traylon Burks and Drake London ahead of Dotson from Penn State myself personally, just because the impact of the size and physicality.
Yeah,
I mean, I can find maybe not as good as Jahan Dotson play the slot, but I can find other little jitterbug fast wide receivers in the second round. So I wouldn't put a high premium on him in the first round.
And I see a team. If Jameson Williams falls past 25, somebody's coming up to get him. That'll be the 6th guy to go. And then I'm telling you, a lot of buzz out of Indianapolis was a kid in Memphis. A lot of buzz.
Let me ask you this: if you can get Jameson Williamson, or you can get Kenyon Green, offensive lineman from Texas A&M, or you can get the kid, the other offensive lineman, Bernard Raymond from Central Michigan. If you get either one of them, and if you think teams gonna pass over them linemen to draft Jameson Williams?
If the Buffalo Bills is at 25 and Jameson Williams is on the board, Buffalo is getting Jameson Williams at 25.
Why? They got Davis. They got Davis and they got Diggs.
But I think they want 3 receivers, and they might because Josh Allen.
Copycat league.
They might actually. Bucky Brooks got them taking Jameson Williams at 25.
Copycat league, man.
But and they so good they can afford to wait on his health. So
yes,
they like taking a shot in the first round.
Yes.
Okay, I can see that.
But
but that's still 5 wide receivers.
3.
Yeah,
that's
no,
five.
that would be 6. Jameson Williams would be number 6.
No, Bucky would have him as number 5.
No, we said R5, and then you asked Tate, would there be a guy that somebody would come up to get? And I said Jameson Williams would be the 6th guy to go in the first round. And I'm telling you, out of Indianapolis, the buzz is for Memphis to make the 7th guy. That's the buzz. So there's going to be 6, possibly 7, go in that first round. I'm telling you, just sit back and watch it. Just like I said, the run at defensive line is going to happen first. Defensive line, you could get 6 out of 10. Those first 6 out of 10.
G, you're the same person that telling me that there's going to be a running back selected in the first round.
Yes.
Yes. G, I can't listen to you on this one.
Okay.
I can't hear you on this one.
Bucky Brooks got 5 receivers going in the first round.
5 receivers.
Yep.
5. And that's just and maybe 6. But like I said, the only difference would be what Kansas City would do, because I think he has Kansas City taking a safety there, right? And if Kansas City, I can see Kansas City pulling the trigger and taking a wide receiver too. I mean, they need one. But
what's going to dictate this also is the free agent frenzy you're going to see start up here in a minute. Because
that's a good segue. I'm glad you went there. Now, this is my question, and out there in KnoitAllZ land, B Dirt, Tate, G, do you think that these classes being so deep with the offensive lineman, the defensive lineman, and the wide receiver, do you think that that's going to affect free agency? And if so, how much?
Yeah,
Tate, talk to me, man. You think the depth of the wide receiver and offensive line and defensive line going to affect free agency?
Yeah, the depth in the draft is definitely going to affect free agency. I mean, I'm just speaking from a Steeler perspective. We need O-line. And I mean, if we think we can get a couple solid contributors in the second, third round, why go out and pay $12, $13 million for a guy? I mean, the best available free agent tackle, Teron Armstead from the Saints, that joker gonna get $20 million.
Right.
If I can draft somebody not as good as him, but somebody that's a second round talent, coach him up, I'm spending that $20 million elsewhere. So definitely moves made in free agency. You gonna know what a lot of teams looking at in the draft by just following their free agency that starts March the 16th.
Correct.
You know? And I want to say in Bucky Brooks' mock draft, he didn't even have Traylon Burks going in the first round.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. You're right. And G, what do you think? Do you think it's going to affect free agency a whole lot?
Yeah.
I mean, you got people like you have pass rushers like my guy who over there at the Rams,
Von Miller.
Yeah, he's kind of old in the tooth. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can kind of catch somebody who may not have a bend or who may not have the experience that he has, but you ain't got to pay him as much money. So what do you think, man?
Well, the issue is that because you have depth, you're not going to see those mid-range guys get the money that they think they deserve. Guys like Sammy Watkins, guys like Amari Cooper, guy like Juju Smith-Schuster, they're not going to get that $15, $16, $17 million that they believe that they're worth because you have depth in that position, which means that you're going to see a shift in how teams aggressively attack free agency. Me and Tate talked about this last week. A team like Pittsburgh that is probably could free up to $60 million in free agent money. Man, if we don't sign at least one tackle, possibly a guard, and get a defensive lineman, it was a total waste. We got to go in the trenches. So you're going to see teams like our team and other teams go to the trenches in that free agency, which in turn is going to trade what they're looking for in the draft. Because now I let a guy like Juju go. I spend my money in free agency in the trench. Now I go draft a receiver, replace Juju. You see what I'm saying? It's the whole, and that's what Tate was talking about as far as the mentality of the general managers of the NFL. Wherever they spend their money at, they're going the opposite direction in the draft. So that's where once the free agency frenzy starts, and some quarterbacks are going to dictate this as well. So, we've already heard the crazy rumor about Russie going to the Redskins for 2 first-rounders, a third, and Chase Young. Are you freaking kidding me?
Well, Chase Young was never a part of that draft. It was the first rounders. It was, part of that trade. It was all first rounders.
But they was talking about offering Chase Young up to Detroit. So the reason they trying to get Russ, and they said they'd do because they already got Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat.
Yep.
So Chase Young is like trading a first round pick.
It really is.
Yeah, so I can see them doing that.
Yeah.
So now that we got that, we're talking about, and I totally agree about what you guys are saying. And the mentality of a GM is, man, why pay this type of money to get the same type of production? When you look at Dallas, and we're talking about Amari Cooper and the rumor, and which is really definitely one of those things is gonna happen. Amari's gonna be cut from the Cowboy roster. That's gonna happen. He's gonna save us $20 million on the cap. Definitely, we want to sign Michael Gallup back. We definitely want to sign Cedric Wilson back. That frees us up to do that, and it frees us up to get that type of money back in the draft to catch some guys, because there are guys there that we could bring in at wide receiver. And we have to sign back either Dalton Schultz, or we have to sign my guy Randy Gregory back. So there's money that we can use by letting Amari go, and that was the logical choice for me. And then here's the thing, Amari, he has played himself in these last couple of years out of big games. If either at home he plays, away he doesn't, and in big games he disappears. And you could say that it's offensive coordinating, but hey man, listen, big players make big plays in big games. We've seen that happen. We've seen that happen time in and time out. So I think, with the depth of this year's wide receiver class, you're definitely going to see more people make those type of decisions. And Tate and G, I think you guys are spot on it. What were you ready to say, Tate?
I was going to ask you, man. That Dak's numbers is drastically worse without Amari Cooper. They brought Amari Cooper in to help Dak out. Now Dak getting 40, 45 million a year, but he need pieces. When you making 40, 45 million, you're supposed to make the pieces better. So this is going to be a big year for Dak Prescott this year. He has to turn into what he hasn't been yet. A great quarterback, yes, but he's not a force multiplier.
Right, correct.
He plays good with the great pieces around him, but he needs to be able to make the pieces around him great.
I like what y'all are saying in that aspect, but I think because Dak need to earn his bread. He need to earn his bread. I think two things fall on that. Kellen Moore is one of them. I've never believed in Kellen the way that everybody else has, because Dak beat you out, bro. You know what I'm saying? You are the last holdover from Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett was a horrible play caller. Look at what he did with the Giants. He doesn't make anybody better, right? So in my mind and how I'm seeing this whole thing, you could bring in a Juju. You could even go and bring in another free agent that can do more of what Amari Cooper couldn't do, and that's actually get himself open, make the big catches at the big time, and make himself reliable. We've all known, and the numbers that they're there with Amari Cooper, so I can't really talk about that, but we do know, Cowboy fans know, that Michael Gallup has always been Dak's favorite target. Always been his favorite. And
the issue is
stepping up into a number one. I think he's ready.
But the issue is they're not going to get
Big G.
What's happening?
When AB left, we thought Juju was ready too. Then
it just sure did, and that was my whole point when I'm going to tell mine. The issue is that a guy like Juju is going to demand 14 or 15 million, and he ain't worth it because his productivity has not been on the field. The issue is, like I keep saying, and I'm going to keep saying this show after show after show, the NFL is a copycat league. Dak is a guy that they're trying to say, okay, we're going to get pieces around you, and we're going to force the offense to score. So far, Dak with pieces, now they all haven't been 100% healthy, has not showed up. So other NFL teams is looking at 3 receiver, 1 back set and force the offense. That's why I said that guys like Juju, guys like the only wide receiver that's going to get big money is Devontae Adams. Anybody else, when you pay, you're not paying they're going to demand it. They're going to try to make the force the market, but they're not going to get it.
He's going to get a franchise tag.
Of course he is. At 18 million.
Juju ain't getting no more than 10.
Correct, but he wants 14. He's
not getting 14. He be lucky to get 10.
Correct. Like I said, it's going to be a big year to see guys, even guys like that Godwin guy down in Tampa Bay or Tyler Lockett, where the guy Mike Williams out in the Los Angeles Chargers, guys like that who are good players, but do they force the action to force you to go to 11 personnel where your defense can't match up with their offense?
Godwin and Mike Williams both going to get franchised too.
Yeah, they're going to get tagged.
Yeah,
they're going to get tagged. Well, switching gears, LBJ went for 50 piece last night.
56. Give me my 6 more nuggets.
Yeah.
Hey, so what you think about that tape, man? Old man, 37, going for a 56 piece, man. Talk to me about it.
Man, LeBron is averaging 29.2 points per game.
Yeah.
He's shooting over 50% from the field, 35% from three, and I believe averaging like 7 boards and 6 assists a game. He's top 3 in the MVP. Probably won't get it because Embiid and Ja having such a great year, but he's the top 3.
Yeah.
It's still so hard for the Lakers to win, though, man. I mean, it's the fit of all the old guys, rightfully so. He wanted to bring in there because they his boys. Russ don't fit. He wanted to show he can win one with Russ because Russ played with Harden, played with KD, played with a lot of different people and never won. He wanted to show he can win with Russ. He wanted to get Carmelo a ring. But I think the Lakers' biggest problem is not even Russ, man. I think it's Anthony Davis' help and Anthony Davis' mentality. I mean, LeBron been scoring and nobody his age in league history has been performing like this on a nightly basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even Kobe's last year. Kobe scored 60 his final game, but Kobe shot damn near 50 times, 40-some times. Inefficient. LeBron was efficient, man. But LeBron can't carry a team like he did 5, 6, 7 years. He need help. He can put up numbers, but he need help because everything else, is a step slower. His defense is not what it was, So I'm just amazed by him, man. LeBron's probably my favorite NBA player. I think I had to think about it. I like him better than Mike Jordan, but but it's just great, man.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this, G? Talk to me. How you feel about this whole thing?
Well, I normally don't go here as far as my language is concerned on the podcast, but it's a damn shame that LeBron James got to score 56 points for the Lakers to win. That's horrible. That means that now you could say he was part of the problem, but in order for him to get 56 at this age, it shows number one, his greatness, but just how horrible of a team the Los Angeles Lakers actually is. So I'm saying that yes, I applaud it. But 56 at his age, and by the way, too, got to give a shout out to Ja. He just had like 50-something the other day, and Tatum had 54 today on them Brooklyn Nets. So you got guys out there putting up the
Did Tatum win? Ja lost the other day. Did Tatum win?
Yeah, they beat Brooklyn, and he put up 54 ball on them boys. He was out there getting it.
I totally agree with Tate, and I agree with the way you said it. G, I agree with your heart behind it. It doesn't make sense to me that Anthony Davis is top 75. You're always hurt. You don't want to get down and do the dirty work, which LeBron will gladly do at his age. You know what I'm saying? You're not helping him. You're not giving him what he needs. He needs a Robin. And you're not being Robin. You don't want to do what it takes. You're just out here just acting up.
Hey, man, at this point, LeBron need the whole Justice League. He don't just need no Batman. He need the whole Justice League to get the chip, man.
Hey man, think about this. The Lakers would now tell me would they be better off if they traded Anthony Davis to Philly for Tobias Harris, Tyrone Maxey, and Thibault.
Great
Better
team.
off. Better
Great
off.
team.
Better off.
Great team.
They would
Great
probably
team.
win it all. Literally. And I'm not even playing. They would probably win it all with the roster they have right now. If they got off Anthony Davis and got that trade, they win it all.
Let Anthony play the 4 with Embiid and Harden. That's what he wanted to do anyway. I mean, the Lakers would be better for that kind of pedestrian trade. Tobias Harris ain't no superstar.
Yeah.
Tyrone Maxey is up and coming. Been balling since Harden been there.
Yeah.
And Thibault is a 3-and-D guy, probably one of the top 5 one-on-one defenders in the league.
Yeah. Yeah. Better team. Lakers are definitely a better team. And if they can figure out some kind of way to get some value with a trade with Russie, I mean, I at this point, I'd take John Wall over Russie. So,
the thing is, they wanted that first round pick to come back with John Wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With Russ. I mean, Houston wanted to give John Wall, get Russ in that first round pick. The Lakers didn't want to do that. I understand that because they just hold on to Russie through this offseason. Next year, he a $45 million expiring contract. You got a little more to work with him coming off somebody's books at the end of next season versus paying him this season and being stuck with him next season. So I think he's definitely – the Lakers have said, and Russell said he don't want to be there either now.
Yeah, get him out of town.
Make some moves either this offseason or by the trade deadline next year. Russell's not going to be in LA.
Yeah, yeah. I got a question. I got a question. Does LA make the playoffs?
I think they do.
Whew. I know we talked about it on the show before, man, but I don't know if LA makes the playoffs, Tate. They're the 9 seed and the Pelican. Hey, so there's word that Zion is going to be ready like next week. And so the Pelicans been playing, man.
They have been playing. The trade to CJ McCollum make all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
You got CJ McCollum with Brandon Ingram. I mean, that's offensive firepower right there.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like, but the Lakers, if they 9 now, you guys hold on to 10 to make the play-in. So when I say make the playoff, I mean the play-in.
Yeah, yeah. So you don't think like that the Spurs jump up and get there? Who's the other team that's below the Spurs? So you got New Orleans at 10, LA at 9, the Spurs are at 11, and who's the 12 seed?
12 the Lakers is 9, Pelicans is 10.
Yeah.
The Lakers is only a game ahead of the Pelicans.
Yeah.
The Trailblazers is 11, the Spurs is 12, but the Spurs is like 5 games back of the Lakers. With like 19 games to play. They ain't gonna catch them.
Yeah. So the
Spurs is 12 and they 5 games back of the Lakers. The Trailblazers is 11 and they 3 games back of the Lakers.
It's gonna be tight. Left. Yeah, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight for LA. I just really do believe they might not make it unless you get Anthony Davis back. They might not make it. They might not make it.
I don't see them dropping out of the 8 or 9 spot. I mean, the Pelicans could pass them for 10. I mean, for 9-10. The Pelicans could pass them, but they gonna stay in either 9 or 10.
Hey man, last week you wasn't on the show, man, but we didn't get a chance to ask you. What's your depth chart in the East, man? If you had to pick the depth chart for the East, what's your depth chart?
Eastern Conference basketball?
Yeah, Eastern Conference. Right now, today, who's your top 5 or 6?
Milwaukee, 1.
Yeah.
76ers, 2.
Yeah.
Miami Heat, 3.
Yep.
Brooklyn Nets, 4.
Yeah.
Boston Celtics, 5 for me.
Right. And Cavs 6. Would you go Cavs 6?
No, I probably would go
Chicago.
I would go Chicago. I think the Cavs might hold on to a 6 seed and get in, don't have to do the play-in.
Yeah.
But it don't mean they're the 6th best team.
Right. I just really think that the Eastern Conference, for the first time in a while, has got a real chance to. I mean, Milwaukee was really good and really talented last year, but I think that maybe we're going to see a pendulum shift where the Eastern Conference is going to start being the dominant conference and the champion is going to come out of the East. I like the West Coast. I like Golden State. I like Phoenix. I like Memphis. I was sort of like Utah. I like Denver if they're healthy. But I just think that East is just the beast of the East is going to be rough to get out of there, man.
It is, but what, two years ago, Toronto won. The Lakers won the bubble. Milwaukee won last year.
Yeah.
I had every bit of confidence the champion come from the East this year. I mean, Phoenix going to play a factor, but they're the only team I think going to be a factor from the West.
Right. Golden State could be too, but I just, like I said, I'm really on this East Coast thing, man. I think
Golden State lacking size in the middle.
Yeah.
So when they got to play one of them teams with some size, with Embiid, with Giannis, with Jokic, where know one of them guys, I don't see Golden State going past those teams.
Right. Hey, so last question I guess we're going to have for the podcast today, and just to throw it out there for the listeners out there. You know, we've talked about a variety of subjects on the show concerning the sports, but I think that we're coming to a point of impasse where things are going to slow down and sort of speed up at the same time. So we're going to just send something out there to the listeners to say, hey, look, what off-topic sports, which is not the main things that people talk about, that you would like to hear us talk about? I know there's been some discussion amongst us, maybe include a little bit more of the political stuff and the stuff with people. But I think moving forward, what are we going to talk about? So I'm just putting that out there to the listeners to say, hey, look, man, we know sports, we know politics, we know culture, but what do you want us to hear us talk about? Because we love the feedback. We thrive off of the feedback from people who listen to us, and we really thank you guys. But what do you want us to talk about? Because we could go there. We could go there with different topics, different subject matter, and all whatever else. But we really want to hear from you guys to know what you want us to talk about.
One of the things that I wanted to put out there is that we're going to do a NCAA March Madness tournament. I've been preparing this for about a year now. Definitely you're going to see it played out on a video game, but I definitely wanted to ask you guys, who would be the top 5 all-time team? I'm going to start with you, Tate. Who would be, if we were to take the Duke all-time team, Kentucky all-time team, who would be your top 5 all-time NCAA basketball team?
Oh, you mean program, all-time program team.
All-time program.
Like if they actually played in a tournament?
Yeah,
which they will.
He's saying you can take any player from any era, from any program, but they got to be that program.
Yes. So, I'm actually going to put this together.
I got Grant Hill in his prime, Kyrie Irving in his prime.
Absolutely.
Duke is definitely one. North Carolina is in there at 2. I mean,
is Duke over Michael Jordan, Sam Perkins, and that whole lineup they had, James Worthy.
But you just naming all from one team, basically. You got, like you said, you got to throw Rasheed in there, Vince Carter in there.
I'm talking about Rasheed in there, Montrose. I mean,
not Montrose. But
Julius Pepper. I mean, there's a lot of guys on that squad.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of the teams, the schools, Duke. I'm not trying to name players right now.
Okay, give me your top 5.
Duke, Carolina, Kansas. I'll probably get a team Cuse out of there too.
Yeah.
If I'm just going off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think no Big Ten team is in the top 5. Maybe Michigan State all time, because you got guys like Magic and Steve Smith and Draymond Green. You know what I mean? So just quick, because you asked it too fast. I'm gonna say Michigan State number 5.
Yeah. He asked me off camera, man, and I said I would go UCLA 1, North Carolina 2, Duke 3.
UCLA is a good one.
Yeah, UCLA 1, North Carolina 2, Duke 3, Georgetown 4.
Oh, B. Dirt say Georgetown. You say Georgetown 4?
Georgetown 4 all time.
You might be right, bro.
And probably, and this gonna hurt a lot of people, I'm going with the St. John's Red Storm, man. St. John's has some killers, man, over the years, man. Some killers.
They ain't had no killers in the last 20 years.
But
B Dirt is right. Georgetown. You said Georgetown.
Yeah, 4.
And I mean, as I think about it, man, you probably could get some out of Michigan too, though.
Yeah, you could get 9. You could get 9 legit from Michigan. 9 legit players, because you got 2 national champions, and you got a Fab 5 on one team, and you got Lloyd Vaught, Glenn Rice, Ramil Robinson, Mark Hughes. Those guys on that other Michigan team, and then in between with guys like Trey Burke.
Ron Higgins, like you said,
yeah.
Trey Burke,
Chris Webber, Jalen Rose.
Oh, we said the 5.
The Fab 5 was a given. You didn't have to name them individually.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, that's
about it. There are teams. UCLA is definitely got to be in there.
One. UCLA was my one.
UCLA, Kansas, Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina.
I didn't say Kentucky team.
Yeah.
Man, in Georgetown, Louisville is up there.
I said Syracuse.
Yeah.
Syracuse is up there.
Yeah.
But KnoitAllZ on Twitch. We're gonna do this on Twitch. We have set all-time rosters. The all-time rosters are already there. We've got all the way down to Houston, actually. We got Faslama Jamma. We got a lot of Houston kids from the recent years. We got Texas, of course. We got Ohio State in this tournament. And we set a field of 32.
Right.
And we just going to play them out. See who wins. We're going to see who wins.
It was too hard to go 64 because when we started getting to like that 33, 34, we started talking about teams like Marquette, Illinois, all-time teams. And we were like, man, wait a minute. But listen, I got to tell them the sleeper that everybody will sleep on. LSU Tigers. The LSU Tigers is some killers. That when you go all
UNLV wasn't bad.
Yeah.
UNLV wasn't bad. I mean, you had Augman, you had Johnson, you had Hunt, you had
all them players off one team though.
Literally, but you had Armin Gilliam. You had what's his name? The Matrix. The Matrix went there. Yeah, so definitely.
Yeah, but that LSU team with Pistol Pete, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, and Shaquille O'Neal is and Ben Simmons is causing a whole lot of problems.
It ain't Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. It was Chris Jackson at that time.
It was Chris Jackson then.
Yeah, but when those 4 is causing problems.
Sleeper, definitely a sleeper. I mean, sleeper. But we got your 32 teams, and we're gonna play it out on Twitch. You'll be able to see, and I'll post.
Big G.
Definitely. Go ahead.
Real quick, who would be the Ohio State team? Just name some players.
Jimmy Jackson, Lawrence Funderburk, Greg Oden, Mike Conley,
Jim Jackson,
Perry Carter, Clark Kellogg, not John Havlicek, but my man that played for the Boston Celtics. We put them on.
That's John Havlicek.
John Havlicek. They made the 32. They made the cut.
Dennis Hobson.
He was on the squad. He was on the team. He made the team. So they Mark Baker. I mean, there was some guys I had. Greg didn't make the team. Greg Simpson didn't make it. But when we set the rosters, when we said all times, we had.
I'm finna tell you another sleeper. Florida.
Yeah, the Gators.
The Gators was a sleeper.
Yeah.
A sleeper. And
so Tate, me and Ma did this over days. Like, we just sat back.
It took us about 3 weeks, honestly.
Yeah.
It took us about 3 weeks to actually put these together and going through these rosters and really, I mean, shoot, it was hard. But you had to start with the greats and then work your way down. DePaul even had a respectable team. DePaul was respectable.
Marquette too.
Rod Strickland, Mark Aguirre. Who else was DePaul? The Dallas Coming-G's.
Yeah.
Respectable.
Hey, so even the Arkansas Razorbacks had a squad.
Respectable. Very respectable.
They had a squad, man.
Yeah, those are team in the second 16, though. All these teams we talking about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, you got to have secondary teams, man. You got to have teams that were secondary in the. If you have a tournament, a March Madness tournament, you got to have teams that were on the bubble that made it in, and on the bubble teams like Houston was on the bubble team.
Yeah,
the Cougars, that's on a bubble team. You know,
which Drexler and Elijah Wan still was like on the fence
still on the bubble
to make it. Yeah, they was on the fence.
I mean, did y'all say the Cincinnati Bearcats?
Yeah, they
Cincinnati
made it.
Bearcats they're in the game.
I think they were 20. Were they 28? Were they either 28 or 29? If I remember right, they were down there 28 or 29.
You know what? Give me a minute, you guys, and I will bring this up for y'all. Bring me a minute. I'll bring it up. Give me a minute.
Yeah, we went. How we did it was all rankings. Like they got all-time rankings like at 99 or 98 based on gameplay from a system, and then once we started adding players, that's how we knew what their rankings was 1 through 32. So of course, your UCLA's and your North Carolinas, they were super up there, because of how many 99 or 98 or 97 players they had. But there was some teams like that 16, 17, 18. And when you actually looked at their roster, once you got past 8 or 9, and you're like, dude, that dude's an all-NBA player. That guy's 75 greatest player. That guy is, and we was like, oh my God, how are they ranked number 19, or how are they ranked number 20, or how are they ranked number 21? But we got 32 teams. And there was a couple of teams that, when the argument came down on should we put them in over this team because of the amount of superstars they had, and it just was we couldn't justify it. So Houston, I think they were way down there. Houston was way, way down. They didn't get in. They wasn't a top ranked seed. They definitely wasn't a 1 or a 2 seed. So and the actual, what I got to tell our viewers too, the actual gameplay that Ma's talking about on Twitch, you're going to actually see it simulated on Twitch gameplay. That there'll be snapshots where you'll see Michael Jordan make a phenomenal pass to Rasheed Wallace, and maybe Rasheed throws a lob to Vince. You'll actually see that happen on Twitch from the gameplay. So it's I viewed it and it was off the chain, man. It was off the chain. So we just waiting on Ma to get back with the link.
It's made from the last NCAA game that we had.
Yeah.
That Xbox gave us, and definitely we put it together that way. The number 1 team and the number 1 seeds were North Carolina, Kentucky, Duke, and UCLA.
Yeah,
can't really argue that. Kansas is number 5. Michigan State was number 6. Michigan's number 7. Maryland was number 8. Indiana's number 9. LSU is number 10. Georgetown's 11. Syracuse 12. Houston was 12. Syracuse 13. UNLV 14. St. John's 15. Louisville 16. Arkansas 17. NC State, which we didn't bring up, 18. UConn, which we didn't bring up, 19. Arizona 20. Ohio State 21. Florida 22. Georgia Tech 23. Cincinnati 24. Texas 25. Auburn 26. Oklahoma 27. Marquette 28. Oklahoma State 29. DePaul 30. Alabama 31. And Memphis State is the last team in with 32. So we have that 32 team roster. And like I said, you guys, you will see some of it played out on our Instagram. Well, you see some of it played out on our Instagram. You see some of it played out on our YouTube. But you'll see all of it played out on our Twitch. And we're definitely going to go game by game, sharing some of the screenshots and just watch it. And we'll see who's going to be named champion. That's how it's going to be. I mean, actually, I played some simulations out just to see what we got. And, there were upsets. there was some upsets.
I didn't hear Purdue, but
Purdue didn't make it. We sat on Purdue for a minute, but there wasn't enough to beat out the rosters that we said. There was just not enough. It wasn't enough. Purdue didn't have enough to beat out the roster. You had to have a strong 6 to 7 man roster. It had to be strong 6 to 7 man deep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm excited about just to see the gameplay because, like I said, the simulations of some of that stuff was unreal.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, do we have any parting shots? Any parting shots?
No, not for me. I mean, I think we covered everything that we needed to cover for the show. And once again, I just want to thank the listeners for being out there and rocking with us, man.
Tate, you got any parting shots?
Man, nah, man. I'm just glad, like I said, I could bring some legitimacy and levity back to the program this week. You know, I missed y'all last week, but y'all didn't miss me, but y'all definitely missed my knowledge.
You know, we gave you shout outs all while we were here last week. Definitely missed you. Your knowledge we can do without because I'm the champion, know it all. So definitely we thank you guys for rocking with us. We will see you guys. And I'm telling you, get ready. If y'all have, if you have now you're going to watch this back. I know you are. So if you guys have some teams that you feel like should be in our top 32, give us a shout out and let us know. Just comment on the YouTube page. We will definitely get that. If you even have questions, make sure that you put that up. And like I said, make sure that you like and subscribe. Like on Facebook, subscribe on Twitch and YouTube. Definitely, when we're ready, we'll get back at you, Tate. You got something else?
Real quick, just vote to get Purdue and the Fighting Illini in there, man. How they not in there? But okay, I'm done.
We thought about Illinois, but we're gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna have to talk about it. We can see about a team that we can take off. We're not biased to where we're not gonna do that. But hey, man, till next week, we'll holler at you. Peace.